Eastern and Oriental Express runs right across Southeast Asia from Singapore to Bangkok and covers a route of 2,000 kilometers. It is one of the more luxurious trains in the world. During the journey, 3 countries are visited, each showing a marvelous blend of Eastern culture and some clearly Western influences. The journey starts in Singapore. This town was founded in 1819 when the Englishman Sir Stamford Raffles started a trading post here. Singapore is an ultra-modern city which appears to be situated in an immense tropical garden. Ancient and slightly run-down houses alternate with high-rise flats. The Eastern and Oriental Express departs from Singapore Station on Keppel Road. This magnificent Art Deco building was opened in 1932. The large station hall is richly decorated with mosaics. From here, trains leave for all kinds of places in Malaysia. The Eastern and Oriental Express is the first train which runs straight through from this station to Bangkok. In 1991, the Malaysian and Thai railway companies signed the historic agreement which gave the green light to this journey by train. Before that time, passengers had always had to change trains. From all over the world, passengers come to this station for a journey with the Eastern and Orient Express. Tickets are very expensive, and so the local people hardly make use of the train, which mainly has tourists as its passengers.
Well, we're on a journey around the world, and we've got to Singapore. We're taking the train now up to Butterworth, through to Penang. I've heard quite a lot about this train, and we're looking forward to the journey.
We stayed in Singapore for 4 days, and now we go by the Orient Express to Bangkok.
พูดไทยได้ไหมพูดมาเลยได้เปล่า
From Singapore, the train is quickly in Malaysia. We're on the way to Butterworth, the place where travelers used to change on the regular trains to Bangkok.
Our company started off with the idea of running a train service between...
About 7 years ago, we came up with the idea of starting a railway link between Singapore and Bangkok. We first discussed the feasibility of such a railway link and did some field work. Soon we got the green light, and then we started to look for a train. We found it in New Zealand. We bought the complete train and had to ship 25 carriages to Singapore. We took the train apart and finally rebuilt it. We shortened the undercarriages and welded them together again. And now it serves as the Eastern and Orient Express. It is the largest passenger train in Southeast Asia. It has 22 carriages, which cover half a kilometer.
It is the longest passenger train in Southeast Asia, and with a full complement of 22 carriages, we are approximately half a kilometer long.
One time, something very funny happened.
Very interesting thing.
It was 11 o'clock in the evening when we were asked to announce a proposal of marriage over the intercom. The couple was sitting in the bar of the train, and the answer
was yes.
Once the train has left Singapore, the landscape changes. We are passing small kampongs, small villages, and endless rubber plantations. We are close to the equator now, which is reflected by the scenery. It is very hot, but no one in the train is bothered by it, since all the carriages are air-conditioned. Every now and then, we make a brief stop. Food is being bought, and at each station, means are available to make sure the luxury train will stay in first-class condition.
Yeah. Dinner 1, to pack them in 10s. Also, I ordered a box of lemons, half a box of pears. What happened to them?
When the train arrives in Butterworth, the special partly open-top panoramic carriage is being uncoupled.
When we take the observation car here, we take it away and turn it so that it can be put at the rear of the train, because when we pull into Butterworth, we come in one way, we go out the same way. So for passenger convenience, we swap the two ends around, bring the generator car up here and take the observation car down to the rear. We have a turntable, manual turntable. We have to jump off and push the carriage around. So.
Once the panoramic carriage has been sidetracked, passengers are going on a field trip. After a couple of hours, they return to the station. While the locals are waving them goodbye, the journey with the Eastern and Orient Express is being resumed. What follows is a lengthy journey to the north. The small part of the peninsula is called Elephant's Trunk. The journey through the Malaysian landscape is magnificent. The passengers are staring their eyes out. For many of them, a journey with this train is simply a dream.
Since I was a little boy in South Africa where I live, I've been on many trains all over the country, because when I was a little boy my dad didn't have a car and we used to make use of trains, and I even have had a little train set at home. So this was the perfect way to sort of end my boyhood. And once I'm on the train, I'm like a little boy. I run around and take videos, take pictures. I can't sit still.
The Eastern and Oriental Express is, as already mentioned, a luxury train. Except for drivers and stewards, there are also some 20 hostesses on board.
Actually, we have a different uniform. When we are in Malaysia, we have to wear the kebaya. That's a traditional Malaysia costume in beach color. When we are after the border Thailand, we have to wear Thai costume. That's a Thai suit, what I'm wearing right now.
The train is making a brief stop at the Malaysian-Thai border. The passengers do not have to worry about the customs formalities, since the stewards are taking care of them. We are using this brief stop to get a closer look at the local food. It is not only common practice to eat in the open air here, but also to cook outside. Of course, the basic food consists of rice, which is often combined with fresh fish. The seas are also well stocked with many exotic kinds of fish. Thai people also often eat grilled chicken and candied fruits. Plenty of lemongrass and hot curries are added to give the food its characteristic tang. We're boarding again. The Eastern and Orient Express is resuming its journey. We're heading for Bangkok now. Contrary to almost every other Asiatic country, Thailand was never colonized, which gives the country its unique character. It is the land of 1,001 temples, built by friendly locals who like hot meals. Thailand is ravishingly beautiful. While the sun is slowly disappearing in the rice fields, the luxury tables in the 2 restaurant cars are set for dinner. The menu does not consist of a simple meal, but rather of a 4-course dinner. The maître d'hôtel, as he is called, is preparing European food with an Oriental touch. The result is an original flavor. During dinner, the driver reduces speed so that the crystal glasses can be put safely away afterwards. After a night's sleep on the rhythm of the rails, we're being served breakfast. Hot croissants, fresh orange juice, and boiled eggs. The passengers of the Eastern and Oriental Express are not running short of anything at all. After dawn, the train arrives in Bangkok. A large railway bridge is carrying us over the Chao Phraya River, the River of Kings. Close to here, we find the residence of the Thai royal family, King Bhumibol Abdul Daye. After the quiet suburbs, we are now entering the busy parts of the city. Modern flats alternate with slums, which are standing close to the railway. The train slowly reduces speed and eventually it stops at Hualamphong Station. The exotic city of Bangkok is also called the Venice of the East, since many tributaries of the River of Kings flow through the city. Accordingly, one of the most commonly used vehicles here are boats. On the banks of the canals, many pile dwellings can be found. The city has hundreds of ultra-modern hotels and expensive shops, but if you want to see the real Bangkok, you have to make a trip on the Klongs. Although some places are less beautiful or charming and other places even smell rather unpleasant, this is a very characteristic part of the city. Along the banks of the River of Kings, we find these towers, which show that we have arrived at the former royal palace. This immensely huge palace measures almost 2 kilometers around. In the past, the Thai kings were living here. Nowadays, it houses part of the government. In one of these sumptuously ornamented temples, a sacred Buddha image has been preserved, which was carved out of a big emerald. But there is a lot more to be seen. The many paintings and decorations, often made of expensive materials, are coming at you from all sides. The palace consists of many buildings, which were built by various kings through the years. As was to be expected, every king wanted to have an even more beautiful and more sumptuously ornamented temple than his predecessors. Like many other eastern cities, Bangkok has extremely hot weather and heavy traffic. But the friendly people and the lovely food form a nice compensation for this. There are many markets where delicious food can be bought. The food is widely varied, and so almost all Thais do their shopping in the markets. Vegetables, fruit, meat, and fish are not the only products that are being displayed. You might also buy a pet here. Back to Hualamphoong Station. The chief of the Eastern and Oriental Express also went shopping in Bangkok.
Obviously we have to double check here because like today it's very, very hot. So we have to make sure all the suppliers bring everything nice and chilled. I mean, we've been working at this for so long now that every 2 weeks myself or another chef will come up and we double check food standards. So they know now everything we do it's so precise. Every order is exactly 1 kilo of this, exactly how much it should be diced, the shape, the quantity, exactly.
The Eastern and Oriental Express terminates at Bangkok, but those who are interested can make one more special train trip. Slowly we are leaving the station and heading in the northwestern direction for a notorious place, the bridge over the River Kwai. First, the train runs through the open fields, but more westwardly, we enter the mountainous jungle. The carriages partly run over the historic Death Railway, the Siam-Burmese Rail Link. This railway was built in the Second World War by the Japanese. They wanted to have a line for their supplies in order to invade the British East Indies. The Japanese exploited more than 300,000 prisoners of war for its construction, who had to work in abominable conditions in the heat. They say that each meter of the railway line claimed 1 life. The route leads to the River Kwai. The bridge over this river formed the scene of a famous film which deals with the battle of the Allied forces against the Japanese. The beautiful scenery and the friendliness of the locals make it hard to believe that once such a fierce battle was fought here. luxury train is continuing its way. After a short visit to the River Kwai, we are heading for our final destination, the ancient city of Ayutthaya. We are having another night's sleep, and early in the morning, we arrive with the Eastern and Orient Express in Ayutthaya. This extraordinary, beautiful city once was the country's capital. In the 14th century, a small town was built here and soon became the biggest and most important city of the region. The city is surrounded by many waterways, which facilitated the supply and delivery of goods through this mountainous area. In the 17th century, many ships loaded with spices left from this place for China, India, Japan, and even Europe. Ayutthaya was Southeast Asia's commercial center. The ruins of what was once an immense row of temples still bear witness to the wealth of the city. Although the temples have decayed, they are still very impressive. Ayutthaya lost its importance when the people of Burma, its western neighbors, declared war on the city. The city was conquered by the Burmese, who destroyed its temples.
We lost 2 times. The first time was in the year 1569. We became a colony of Burma for 15 years. After that, we have to restore our capital and rebuild many things again. And finally, in the year 1767, we lost again in the war with Burmese people. This time is forever because this old capital was burned down by Burmese. And Thai people were scattered around to many different places. And one of the biggest group moved to the east, led by General Thaksin. And within 7 months, he could came back here again and push Burmese away from this place. But it was impossible to restore this place. Everything was burned down. It is said that it took 7 days, that fire burning all building here and palaces. So what is left here is only the ruin of the temple.
Close to the ruins, we find a temple which is still being used. It is the Wat Mongkon Bopit Temple. The temple is a shrine for the Buddhist Thai people. The decaying temple used to contain a Buddha image almost 16 meters in height. It was decorated with more than 250 kilos of gold, which was stolen by the Burmese. As a replacement, the temple now contains one of the largest bronze Buddhas in the world.